Good morning, good morning. Hello, Lord Mizd. How are you doing today? And how's everybody else doing too? I hope that you're having a good Thursday so far. Let's see. Where we're right in here, we have a bunch of these systems that are just sort of like assuming. Create player mesh is probably not the best one. This one, they're just sort of like assuming what we're drawing. So I think for you, it might be better to switch back over and like put the mesh for each thing in its own system. Oh, you're doing great. Oh, that's great to hear. That's awesome. All right, so basically what I want to do is I want to make it so that today we're no longer referencing anything directly inside of these arrays. We're just looping through them and just doing it everything. And then if we have to check something, I want some kind of like marker trait for that. Now we have this like create player mesh. I'm thinking maybe this should be something like update mesh. Like we should probably update this. So if I do something like update mesh system, then I want to essentially loop through all of the meshes and then update that. So then that would be the idea is that we come back to the main library. Okay, so you're gonna be update mesh system, which means you're just an update mesh. That should update you in all of these places. But the biggest, let's see, you're gonna be update mesh system. Update mesh system. Okay. The biggest sort of change to that here is going to be we're going to register names, and we need a player mesh. And then the component type is going to be our component right mesh. Okay, so then we're gonna add the resource in. Well, this really is gonna be our create player because it's gonna be add in this. So let's see, create player. I don't think we add in a player mesh right this second, but we can definitely do that. We probably want to have some function outside of here. So outside of the system, we see this update mesh. Right, we have this like create ship and the create thrusters that updates this and then returns a mesh. I would be very happy with us having, and then I just gotta finish typing my T. There it is. I would be very happy with us just abstracting this out into a different function. So maybe like instead of utilities, we can have a new folder. Sorry, instead of systems, maybe we can have like utilities. I don't know if it's exactly utility. It's just like sort of miscellaneous other functions, like helper functions, be helpers. I don't know. But the big thing here is we're going to have a create player ship.rs. And I'm going to want in our system where we have update mesh, I want us to create this mesh here. So this is going to be let mesh. We're going to have these triangles. Okay. So what is this going to look like? Pub function, create player ship. I can't actually do this unless I also have a mod.rs. Then I can do this. Okay, so pub function, create player ship. What do we need in here? We know we need a context. Oh, and then I can't do this unless the main library knows about it too. We'll probably be returning a game result. Let's see how far we can get with building this. Oh, you like that you use mod.rs files instead of the files with the same name as the modules, like many people do. Oh yeah, you mean like helpers.rs instead of helpers? Is that what you mean? Yeah, I remember reading about this in the book and it just sort of like stuck with me. And then I'm also used to like in JavaScript and Node.js, if you want to have like a folder and you want to just like require that folder in, you could have an index.js inside of it. It reminds me so much of that. And okay, helpers. Oh yeah. Because like I want to organize these, right? Like sometimes it makes sense to throw things in here, like names. I don't have more than one thing to go with names, but maybe names could go under helpers. I don't know. Once I figure out the organization though, I then try to put them into folders. I just feel it makes it so much easier to like reason about. Plus I can fold them, which is nice. Okay, so we're gonna create this player ship. We're gonna come back to update mesh. Okay, so here we start creating this mesh. We create the ship. We add the resources. So that's really just part of this. Now, okay, we don't need to do that. It's really this. This creates the mesh. Then in order to use this properly, okay, so we need a mesh builder. Yeah, I think the main reason is you don't have a ton of files with the same name, but I think it's much less confusing than when you don't have a file with the same name as a folder everywhere. Yeah, I agree with that. The thing that sort of drives me a little bit insane about languages like Java is when it forces you to have like, okay, I'm going to have this folder helpers, and then I have to have a helpers file inside of that. It like I like the mod instead of this because the name difference makes it easier for me to see. Plus also I can see like, okay, this is like the main sort of index of this folder. But yeah, like it's interesting how different languages sort of help work with different folders and file structures. Okay, so this is create ship. Okay, yeah, so we need the create ship right here and create thrusters. We could just X this out. And I've already taken you out. So you go down here. All right, so a reference to, and then we call create ship. Now, okay, so we need the player size. So this should be passed in here. Player size, you're an F-32. And we also need the player ship color. And we know you're going to be a color. Okay, now, if is thrusting. So we also need an is thrusting. It's going to be a Boolean. Okay, so if is thrusting, then mesh, like add this to the mesh and unwrap it. Okay, so player size, thruster color, that's all good. At the very end, we want to return an okay with the mesh inside. And then where we have this unwrap, this can become a question mark because we're returning a game result this time. Thruster color. Okay, that's all right, what are you upset about? Expected nothing because game result with a mesh inside. Yes, I forgot. We need to then build it. So that build, we have the context and we can question mark that. Actually, you know what? We could just do this. Mesh.build context, and that will auto return that. Okay. Now, create ship. We need imports mint point twos. Okay, we're good there. All right. So now what I can do is call this create player ship in all the different places that I really, really need to. So for example, in our main library, when we're creating our player, we're going to add it. So with component, still need a question mark. Okay, so with component names, the player mesh, and then the data is going to be this mesh, right? So it's going to be the create player ship. Okay, so we do need the context passed in. Now, okay, I think that works. So context, player size. Okay, so we need all these things passed through. I could definitely add that in here. So we have like the world, the width, the height. I could just immediately query for these things. We also have them up here. It does make me wonder though, what if I were to pass in the player mesh? Like the player ship mesh. Oh, what if we just do like player ship and you're gonna be a mesh? Then instead of doing this create player ship here, you become just the player ship. We do that. You become happy here. And then up here where we're actually just calling it, this is where we would then do the create player ship. Context we already have right here. Player size we already have. Now player ship color. player ship color is this, so we have it here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this into a variable as well. Okay, so now we have the player ship color is thrusting and thruster color. So we can do start you as false and let we're gonna make this red. Okay, so then these things is thrusting. You become is thrusting. Player ship color becomes thruster color becomes this. And there we go. That should be happy here now. So we're gonna save that. Create player. What are you upset about? Mismatch types expected a mesh. Oh, found. Yeah. Okay, so in player, you need to be, we need to unwrap you, but you're a game result. We can just question mark you. Perfect. Okay. Wakla Sierpinski. Hello, good morning. I'm doing good today. We just got started, so it's still early on, but we're doing good. How are you? All right, so this updates and gives a mesh now for every single entity that we have in the game, which is really good because that means it's no longer going to be just like some kind of registered thing, which means we actually need to remove the resource. So do we have any of that stuff? Thruster color, key code, thrusting, player ship color. Like, think this is all good for us to have in here. Binks Twitch, hello. You're good procrastinating about now. That's like, I always thought that's fine every once in a while. That's fine. In create player ship, okay, so this is good because it returns the player ship. In update mesh, okay, so we need to fix this. I am Hardliner, hello! How are you doing? Okay, so in here, in update the player mesh, this is running in update, and the big thing is that if there are any mesh updates to do, we want to display them. You're fine. Timely fine for your finally time for your lunch break. Awesome. I hope you have a good lunch, and thank you for spending it with me. Okay, so we're not going to add this player mesh into a world resource. That's just not going to happen anymore. So in update mesh system, but what we do need to do is we need to determine if we need to thrust and update that, like the color for that. It does kind of make me wonder if there is a way for me to draw that thruster as white with an alpha of 0 and then just flip the alpha off at the draw phase. But how would I How would I make sure that it is attached in the correct exact spot? That would give us two different meshes. Yeah. I don't know if I want to do that. So I think in this case, let's go ahead and we'll just like be rebuilding this. So we have this is thrusting here. So we know with this entire thing, we just want, okay, we need to get the wrapped. Okay, so that wrapped meshes. Okay, so we're going to query 1, player mesh. So unwrap you, and then we also want to borrow mute so that we can update it. So then you're going to be of type mutable. So you need to be mutable. Vector of mesh. And we're going to cast mute you. Okay, so that's going to give us our meshes now. So what we want to do is we want to loop through them. And oh, you're heading back to work? Well, thank you so much for stopping by and saying hello. I hope that you have a great rest of your day at work. Okay, so for the player mesh, like if it's a player mesh, I want to just call that like get the new mesh again. I'm Harlan, you're getting some food. Be right back. All right. We'll see you when you get back. Let's see. Okay, so I want to create the new player mesh again. So that player mesh is going to be equal to create player ship. Okay, so we're going to pass in the context. We're going to pass in the player size, the player ship color, the is thrusting, and the thruster color. I'm dereferencing these because I need to. I'm going to unwrap it because the results are not compatible. And that's going to give me the player mesh. And then right now what I can do is I can just say, you know what, meshes of position 0 is now going to be equal to the player mesh. So we're just going to overwrite that. So that will overwrite the player mesh. Okay, so we're good there. We have no errors. I think that this should work now. No, it unwrapped on a none value. Is that in the draw? I feel like that's going to be in the draw. I'm pretty sure that's in the draw. So in draw. Right. Okay, look at this. We're getting the player mesh out of here. I don't need that anymore. Okay, we need the locations and we need the rotations and we need the meshes. So let oh, so I don't want this to be player mesh at this point in time. in the names, this needs to be just mesh. That's all this is. In our main library, you're going to be mesh. So in draw, you're going to be mesh here. So query all the meshes out. Let's do expect so we can give messages, because that will be easier, better for us when this type of thing happens, which is getting meshes, querying for meshes. I could actually turn this into a result, shouldn't I? That would give me like a really good error message. That would probably be best. Okay, so we're gonna just borrow you. That's it. Okay, so meshes is gonna be equal to the wrapped meshes dot cast. Do that, and we do need to tell you what type you are, so you're a reference to a vec of mesh. Now, what I can do for this entire draw thing, it's gonna be subtly different to this. We're gonna be able to say, okay, I want the meshes that's iter to this. We're gonna enumerate. And then we're gonna, wrong type of this, we can just do a for each. Having our own result that sort of wraps around the GGEZ result would be nice too, because then I could just question mark everything. Okay. Enumerate for each. Okay, so what am I doing for this? We're getting the index and we're getting the mesh. So inside of here, then we're going to do our graphics draw. So pass the context. Oh, I wonder if it's not going to like this because of the context thing. Uh-oh, where did I miss? Let's see, you're closed there. You're blue. Where's an open blue? Right here. No. Right there. That's where I want it. Okay. Got it. Okay, so context is fine. Player mesh. So we need the player mesh now. But instead of player mesh, we're just gonna mesh. Okay. Drop params new. Locations. So in this case, this can now be a locations of index to array and rotations of index to array. All right. So now we do have an error, right? You're just a mesh. No errors. Let's go ahead and run this now. We have our player shape. If I press up, we then move and the thrusters fire. Excellent. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to make sure we're not doing anything like this anymore. But that's not going to be quite as easy. So first of all, let's see. What do I need to do for that? we need to add in a new type into BBECS. We need to have some kind of like marker type in there. And that marker type is going to allow us to determine like, oh, what entity is this? Is this a player? Is this something else? So I'm thinking with component. So let's think about, I guess like, let's think about this for a second. In names, I'm thinking that this would be like a marker. So you have like some kind of marker for what this is. I mean, it could also just be the name of it. No, because like not like we're gonna have multiple asteroids. They're all gonna have the same marker. So like type could be it. Like we could have like the type of it. Maybe that could be a good idea. Model. No. Okay, so once we have that, we're going to come back into the main library, and it's not going to be, we're going to have to register it because it's going to go onto every single component. So it'd be like a world.register names marker, and then component type. So we don't have a component that works well with this. Like we have like a Boolean color. I think I would need like a string. Like I think that's what I would need is a string. So something like component string, like that. You're gonna yell at us because you don't exist. That's fine. Once we have that, now we only have one component right now, that's the player, and we're doing all these like spawn entities and that kind of stuff. This is where we would spawn it. So we have this names. I'm thinking we want another enum for the types, like the markers. And I think that's finally gonna be our, like we can have a folder where all these like names go into. What would that be called? These like, I mean, it could be called like the names. It could be just, I don't think like names or markers would be good. Like something else, like some, something that like tells us what it really is. Naming things is hard. I could also throw it into helpers. I don't know if that makes sense there. Maybe it does. It's the names of all of the components or resources. But then we also have like the marker types. It could just be like random data. I guess that would be helpers. It would be helpers, wouldn't it? So names comes in here, and then we do a pub mod names. And in the main library, so everybody is really upset about that. That's because you're gone. And you're gone. So let's just fix all of our problems. Okay, so names, we have to pull you back in. Okay, and then you're upset because there is no string. So I'm gonna comment you out. I usually end up with a util directory and something like const.lang in there. Oh, interesting. Okay, I could see that. Also, hello, Utsby. All right, so just to make you not too terribly upset, let's go ahead and delete you. Gonna pull in names. I guess like helpers works in this case, but like util could also work. So all right, no more errors in here, which means everything should still work exactly the way we had it before. It does. Okay. So we know we need this like marker type. Is there anything else that we need besides a marker? I don't think we do. I've seen it called stuff or proj, etc. The specific name isn't important if it's obvious what it is for. Absolutely. I agree with that. Okay, so now we know what we want to do. And I think there's two things I want to do to BBECS that's going to help out. I want to add a new error in. So let's come into here. Let's actually close all these windows down. Let's go work in BBECS. I have it here in the same workspace, but we have an entire system where we can push to production, push to GitHub, and it will auto deploy a new version to creates.io. Yeah. So there's a couple things in here. So first of all, in component, I want to add in a marker. And so if we have a marker, we're also going to have this in here. So like a marker, and you're going to be a vec of string. And that means, let's see, we also need to update this cast components for each one of these. So we need to make sure we have a new one just for strings. Okay, so cast mute. You push to crates on every push to GitHub. That doesn't sound like a good idea for me. I push to crates on every push of the master branch or the main branch to GitHub. I don't do it for every like other branch. That way, the main branch is always up to date with what we have in crates. It's following a architecture pattern called, or I guess I don't know if it's architecture pattern, sort of like a work pattern called trunk-based development, which is super popular in places like Google and Amazon and other big companies. It basically is the idea that you should just always have everything up to date in the master branch, and you're pretty much working on that. So lots of deploys all the time. It doesn't deploy unless we have testing, obviously, though. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot. That's a really good point. In the world, we do have these new tests that we've been writing. But shouldn't you only push to creates for the release branch? Isn't master supposed to be semi-stable? It really depends upon how you deal with it. With mine, master is the release branch. Okay, so we're not gonna have, oh, right, because we have to have, if we add in like a data type, it has to like be work with resources and not. So we have to like have both of these. So key code, resource, component, mutably get, and mutably get. So if I basically do that, so get key code resource. Okay, so we're gonna start here. Yeah, there are so many different philosophies on this. There are two philosophies. Master trunk is always stable. Development on branches, merge to master when done, or development on master branch versions, tag releases, just two different ways to do the same thing. Exactly. I've always enjoyed the one where the master branch is always up to date, and future branches should be as short-lived, like any other branch should be as short-lived as possible to reduce any kind of problems with merging in. But yeah, there's a lot of philosophies on this out there. I didn't mean to click on that. Wait, where'd I go? Down here. Okay, so this is gonna be, we need to update you. So instead of key code, this is now gonna get marker. Yeah, a big part of this is like architecture type stuff too. So like, especially if you're like spinning up a new team or a new project, you get to decide all of these fun things about like how the project is gonna work. This is like clearly my favorite way of doing it. But yeah, everything is to each own. Yeah. Okay, so we create a new world. We're gonna add a resource. So name, this is gonna be basically like a marker. Okay, I want to. What? Just, there we go. So you're going to be a marker. Oh, you're not used to any other approaches? I'd say like that's pretty common too. Like the entire trunk-based development isn't super popular in too many places. From my experience, it requires like a very, very strong DevOps culture in wherever it's being implemented. Like lots of automated tests, lots of automated deployments, like no manual processes, minimal manual QA, if any. Like I guess no manual QA. At least once it's into the main branch. Okay, world add resource. Okay, so we have this marker. Okay, so then the data that goes in here, these are strings, right? So instead of this like entire key code A, we're gonna put in a big giant string. So we're gonna say I am a string and maybe to make, let's actually make this a little bit more, this is gonna be like player. Okay, next up, that marker equals, okay, so you're not gonna be a key code anymore. When we get the resource out, you're gonna be a string. Oh, ooh, that's not what I want. So to get this out, will that work? Yeah, I think that'll work. Yeah, it sort of works. Okay, so you're going to be a string that. Obviously, we don't have one for strings. Nice to guess, but auto deploying like that sounds way too risky for you. And it's like I said, there are so many different ways to do it. Just wait until you encounter a dev group heavily into Perforce who uses 100 plus line long client mappings to set up proper component versions. There's nothing quite like seeing like, oh, okay, I deployed that. And it's like, oh, great, it's deployed then. And you're like, wait, what? Really? I deployed to production already? He's like, oh, yeah. It went through like our 5,000 tests and everything worked well. We had visual regression tests that also ran, and everything is good. The test does take about 25 minutes to do automatically, but it works. Yeah, you're one of 15 deployments we did today. Like, if you ever work in a place like that, there's nothing quite like the feeling of it. Okay, so yeah, you're telling me that that's fine. Okay, so then we're gonna go through, we're gonna get this marker back out. Okay, so then assert equal marker player 2 owned. Okay, yeah, so that should be fine. At your work, we dropped master completely. Is it main now for you? Or did you accidentally delete the entire repository? I have worked at a place that had done that. That was not fun to come into. Oh, you just have version branches for development. How many versions do you have at one time? Are you working for like multiple deployments at the same time? So like version 1.1, version 1.2, version 1.3 that's like set up for like far in the future? Okay, so we have that. You have multiple customers at the same time. Wait, do you have custom? Oh no. Yeah, okay. So trunk-based development is a great way to try to like not allow multiple like this entire like, oh, we have multiple versions and everybody's on a different version. Everybody gets a slightly different thing because that, oh man, I'm so sorry. That every time I've like looked at that, it's been a nightmare. So I'm sorry that you have to deal with so many different versions. Because like it's fine the first couple, and then after you get a bunch, you're like, oh, we have a bug in this one. It's like, oh no, that's a bug everywhere. But all the code is separate, and we have to fix it in like 15 different places. And update the tests in 15 different places and all of that stuff because it can't just merge everything together. Or you have to go extremely modular and have like a billion modules, which I mean, that could work too, but that's there's a lot. All right, what am I doing here? We're spawning with a component. Okay, so now we have this marker for component. You're just gonna be complaining about that. That's fine. Wrapped. Okay, so we have this entire wrapped key codes needs to be you should be named wrapped markers. So we're done with that. Okay, so now we're in here. Query one for the marker, then your key codes. This is gonna be markers. Okay, so then instead of this vec of key code, we're going to have you be a vec of string. Okay, so then we're going to cast. You're yelling at me because you don't have one for string. Markers. Okay, markers of 0, player 2 owns. Okay, I think we're good here now. I think we're good here. So now we just make all these tests, like we make the errors go away, and then we make sure the tests can pass. I know Epic Blarg. I've been seeing that too. It's like super unreliable of like what it's naming the main/master branch. And it's like it doesn't bother me one way or the other as long as it just works out of the box. Oh, you can merge this fine. I've seen one where you couldn't merge, so you had to like make the change in all the places, and it was like, oh. Okay, so once we have this, now, what do we want to go? So can't compare. Okay, hold on. Non-exhaustive patterns. Okay, so marker not covered. Let's just slowly add in these. All right, so marker going to be components, marker, a vec, an empty vec. Okay. This is inside of there, so I don't really care about you. Okay, trait bound, world method string not defined, so we need to add that in. Okay, so with components, we have this entire string here that's coming in, the name and the data. Okay, so with components is an insert. So we're going to do a self dot entity data dot insert. Oh, the name. So that's a reference to the name dot into, like that, and then the data gets passed on through. Is that true? I think so. We're gonna do that. Oh, really? Some Rust tooling was failing. I didn't realize that that would do that. And then, okay, so then you're just upset because you're not actually doing the thing. Oh, okay. So I can question mark this, but have to, okay. Return self inside. All right. Okay, so entity for string, let's go ahead and get this set up. Okay, so we're gonna do a string, insert, comes in. Okay, so wrapped, this is gonna be a wrapped marker. Markers. Oh, there's a wrap marker, cast mute, which you're going to be upset. Markers, push the new data in. Okay, so we're good there. And then, okay, so you're upset because we don't have string for you. Well, we can fix that. We're gonna come down here, and we're starting to implement this. Did I not save the file? If let components marker, it's my string equal to self, return okay, string else, return an error. CSS error. Okay, so from you're gonna be self. Okay, so from what you're going to, we have to clone you to cast components on components. What do you need? Oh, you're not gonna tell me. I can never remember if it needs like the string or if I can just say let's try this. To a string. Oh, and then dot into that. Expected struct or a variant or union type found in enum. Wait. Oh, BBS. Right, this is cast components. That's what I wanted. Components. Aha. Okay, so instead of that, you're a components marker, an empty vec. Okay. Good to go there. I can't remember what tool that was. Oh, Danny Fritz, hello. The official Rust tool shouldn't care what branch you're on. They shouldn't even be aware of Git. There might be some third-party cargo tools installed that might. Oh, it's cargo workspaces. I don't think I've checked that out. Interesting. What does cargo workspaces do? Okay, into here. Marker. Hey. When I update you, that's not correct. Okay, so we're updating you to a new string. So this would be something like saying, okay, so in key code B, we're updating you to be like asteroid. And then that toString, you owned. What? No errors? Was that? Wait, did I do everything? Let's get rid of all these warnings. Oh, yeah. Duh. Okay, so this is in names. We're not using it yet, so I can't. Might as well just get rid of you temporarily. It can do version bump across workspaces if there are changes. Oh, nice. I'm mostly using workspaces for little things like just VS Code being aware of different, like, so I can do this. I can work on two. They're not like actually tied together, but when I do a VS Code workspace as opposed to a Rust workspace, Rust Analyzer goes insane and hates me forever. Okay, so then you just event. Okay, world methods. This game result. I don't know why Rust Analyzer really loves to bring in a self. I don't think it's necessary at all, but it loves to do that. And game result. Okay, so update movement system isn't being used. Why are you not being used? So that would be our main library. We have this update acceleration system, but not an update movement system. Interesting. Wait, how does it work? So this is updating accelerations, velocities, and accelerations. Okay. This is basically adding an acceleration there when we're going. Okay, so we do need this. How can this work without? Yeah, it doesn't work anymore. Did I delete that by accident? I may have deleted it by accident. So let's come back into the main library and let's add that in. So we need the update movement system. Okay. So I'm using this point. Update rotations. Yeah, we're not doing that either right now. Sure. Okay, so then right, okay, so now we can get back into this. In our world methods, we need to like actually do these things. So in add resources. And actually, you know what? It'd probably be easier for me to just take this, completely replace you with the thing. So instead of key code, you're a string. Okay, so that's going to be the same there. Resources, insert name, GG's. So okay, so instead of this resource GGZ key code, you're going to be a marker. You don't exist yet. Yeah. Okay, so we need to add in a resource for string. Okay, so self.resources.get. There's nothing for string. And get mute. There's nothing for string. Okay, so one at a time. We'll fix you next. So resource. Marker. String. Okay, so add in string, we're gonna cast to string. Okay, so let resource marker. So it's a key code, which is this string self. Okay. This can be just a string like that. Okay, that fixes you. Back to here, that fixes most of those. Get resource did not get that. Wait, where was I? I was in resources. Oh, you're not. Okay, so self-thought resources dot get. So here is this one. Copy you. Okay, so string for you. Okay, so get name str, return that, resources game, then cast. That should just work. Okay, we're happy here. No errors. Did I do everything? I think I did because we have these tests here. So if I run all these tests, which I could just do easier right here. Failed. Okay, what happened? I love that. Okay, error. Error. Attempted to cast component from test world. Tests should... Wait. Okay. Attempted to cast component from... Wait, it's all like together in one line. Attempted to cast component from test. Which test was this? So if I run you, okay, you're fine. There it is. Okay, so attempted to cast component from GG easy key code to marker. Oh, okay. I had a key code and I really wanted to be a marker. So what this, we know what test this is in. This is in here. So add resource marker. Player 2 owned. Okay, so add a resource with this string. Let marker string get resource marker. Okay, so then this get resource. So that should be fine in here. Okay, that should be all fine. Did I like not save a document? No, they're all saved. Okay, so should get marker resource. Oh wait, okay, never mind. Hold up. I think I'm looking at the wrong one. This one. Because you work. Wait, stop. I want to fold you. Okay, so then you're the one not working. Register this marker and you're going to be a marker. There we go. That's a problem. Okay, so world spawn entity with component marker player 2 owned. Wrapped markers. This. Okay, so let's try running this again. Now we're happy. So I can fold you. Let me run this now. Okay, now we're all good. So now I should be able to do a. We're in asteroids. Let's go ahead. Switch over to. Just run all the tests. We're okay. Everything passes. We're able to get all this stuff out here. The problem is when we're like, I guess there's one more potential problem that we're running into when we were getting data out. When we were extracting data, so query mute, we have to do an unwrap, which can be a problem. So, if it's the wrong type, or if it doesn't exist, I think it was mostly if it doesn't exist. I'm gonna close all these windows so it'll be easier to go find. Oh, not everything. Oops. Open you back up again. I want to go into what file is that? It's the entity data, I think. So we have this query one, and then we have this option here. I think we want to turn this into a result. So we have self components, get, and then the name. Okay. I think what we can have is a query not found with that name. So we want to go to the errors now. And we need to add a new error. So the error is going to be no component found. Well, hello, Zilby. Don't want to. Oh, you want to be a shoulder cat? Sort of? You don't want to be pet. You want to explore. Okay, he's behind everything now. Ooh, I am Hardliner. Line 10. Oh, you're just checking to see if the line thing works? Unfortunately, you can't turn it off. I have to turn it off. Okay, so component not found, maybe, would be good. Oh, you know what? Okay, so component with name. Is it something like 0? I don't remember anymore. Is it like that? Okay. So then it should be component not found, and then we're gonna have like the string with the name in it. Cat, hello human. I'm just here to show you that I can climb on you and you can't stop me. I'm done now. Bye. Yeah, that's pretty much that's accurate. Very, very accurate. Okay, so I don't know if that's no. Okay, so positional argument. Cast asserting dominance since forever. Very true. Can I? 0? Well, you're not super upset with me. I wonder if I can do a test to force this error, just to sort of like see what it would look like. But at the same time, like, I think that would work. However, okay, so this is this error that we're using for this. So I should be able to come over here. I'm gonna do the crates, go to this error. Okay, that's exactly right. So when we have this, this is literally what I'm doing. So, I do kind of like the idea that you're doing this for nice, to make it look nice. Okay, so component with name, whatever, not component found, component with name, blah, not found. Okay, so then in entity data, when I do this query, we want to do we're gonna switch you to a result. With that in. Okay, so we're gonna do an if let sum, and this is gonna be the components equal to you. Then we're going to return an okay with components. However, if not, we're going to return an error, a BBECS error, component not found, and then this can be the name dot toOwned. And then we do have to do an into we found to make this work. But there we go. Bink's Twitch redeemed Pet the Cat. I tried, and then he just like booked it out of here too. Not down there. Zilby! Zilby! I mean, he's not just standing right here. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be able to. He was like out of here really quickly. But okay, so we have that working. Now, if we come back to here, mismatch types, this is in the world. When we query one here, you're suddenly going to be a result like that. And it's going to be the exact same thing. We're just going to throw that. Okay, so we're gonna do that. Yeah, I doubt he's gonna come back down here again, but maybe he will. I don't know. If he does, we'll do a pet the cat. Okay, so no more errors in here. Now in this test, when I get the marker component, we unwrap, and the unwrap is fine, but now we're gonna get a good error message printed out to the screen when this doesn't work. And we can test this now. We can test that we should get like a bad error. Let's throw in that you're gonna be a, different name. So we're gonna register you under markers. No, your marker, we're gonna query from markers. Gonna run you. Error with the value component with name markers not found. Perfect. Excellent. That's everything I wanted. So that's gonna make it so that it's gonna be just like better when we query and we can't find it. So let's do another quick. Not cargo run, cargo test. 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 Okay, everything is good there. Close all of you down. You're all good. No warnings, no errors. Excellent. So then I'm gonna come back to get cracking here. Let's go ahead and update these. So we did a couple different things here. We added marker, which is so added marker component or data type, really. Data type and better errors. So let's see, marker data type is a string. Errors. Error is for. See, what is this? The error is for when querying, when running query 1, if the name is wrong, then return a good error message saying so. So I'm gonna go ahead and commit that. And I think we're good to go. So, oh, you know what? One last thing. We can't forget this. I don't have like a good automated system for bumping the cargo toggle, so I have to do this manually. So let's go ahead, view this change. Let's amend the last commit. We're just really bumping the cargo toggle version. Now we're gonna push this up. If we head over to our GitHub, we go to BBECS, we take a look at actions, we'll notice that it's just immediately running it. This is, I should rename that from Rust to basically test and deploy is what it's gonna do. It's gonna test everything, make sure it's all working, and then auto deploy that to crates.io. Every other branch just does testing and no deploy whatsoever. And then with that, okay, so next time I'm thinking that we now implement this new marker trait. So that'll be the plan. It is after 8:15, so I am gonna wind down the stream so I have time to sort of like get ready for the meetings in the day. You should try Git GUI. It's a TUI tool written in Rust to use Git commands. Really? I didn't know about Git GUI. I'll have to take a look at it. I will add that to my. Let's see, inbox. Check out Git GUI written in Rust. All right, I've added that. Git TUI, not Git GUI. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Git TUI. Interesting. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, with that, I'm going to switch over to my ending screen. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. Git UI, basically. Yeah, because there's several different Git UIs. At my work, we use Git Kraken, so I've been using it to try to keep myself on top of like what it is, how it works, everything like that, so I can help out my team whenever they run into problems with it. But I'll Git TUI might be interesting to sort of take a look at as well. Anyways, I hope that we all have a great rest of the day. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time to continue working on this. We'll be now implementing the marker type. This does take around 10 minutes. We can 10 to 11 minutes or so to deploy. So tomorrow it should be all ready to go. With that, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.